Hi everybody, it's the Soap Man and it's time to make some soap. So if you watched me last week, you saw that I tried some micas that I hadn't used before, and I tried a fragrance that I hadn't used before that smelled just absolutely wonderful. And I was really excited about it, and I experienced extreme acceleration. So I'm going to be using the same color palette before because I kind of liked it. And a lot of you said it looked like a rainbow sherbet, and I kind of think it did too. So I'll be using Orange Vibrance, Laurel Green, Amaranth Pink, and it's in a different container, but this is Brambleberry's Fizzy Lemonade. But I'm going to be using a fragrance that I know behaves very, very well. This is Brambleberry's Bali Breeze. I've used it several times. It behaves very well, and it smells divine. And I think with this color palette, it will go really well with it. Let's get started and make some soap. Now, well, I'll get to it in just a minute. So I'm going to slowly and carefully pour the live water into the oils. I'm soaping about 89, a few degrees hotter. I don't think that's going to be an issue because I shouldn't have to do much stick blending. And once again, I know this fragrance behaves very well. Famous last words, I hope not. So I will start by bringing this to a basic emulsification. Have achieved one more time. Yep, we're good. So what I started to say just a minute ago, I made a little bit extra. I'm going to pour some off. This is for a future project that I'm going to be doing next week. And I'm just going to put some activated charcoal in that and make a black soap. That will be for a project next week, so I'm saying it out of the way. And this should bring me down close to my normal batch size. So I will pour this equally into the containers, as equal as possible, just eyeballing it. And this certainly does not have to be exact. Put some of that in there. Okay. So let's get these colored, scented, and poured. I am just going to do a regular drop swirl because I want the colors to stay pretty independent of each other. And I noticed those two new colorants were a little bit on the weak side, so I'm going to put in a little bit more mica than normally. This is the Orange Vibrance. I'll put in close to 2 teaspoons of that, a pretty hefty amount. Here's the Laurel Green. Put about 2 of it. And our amaranth pink. About 2 of it. And our fizzy lemonade. This is not a mica. This is more just, I think they just call it a colorant. It's a powder, so it takes a little more mixing than these micas. Stir these in, lightest to darkest. Start with the yellow. I'm going to add just a little splash of tennis ball breaker to brighten it up just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's better. And probably stir our green. And our pink. And finally our orange. And that is a beautiful color palette. So I'm going to hit these quickly with the stick blender just to be sure that everything is well mixed in, especially this powder, this yellow powder. First, I'm going to use the stick blender to make sure all the colorants and powders are well mixed into the soap batter and to make sure that the soap batter is well mixed. Now it's time to put in our fragrance. And this is truly a wonderful fragrance. I've used it many times with great results. Although I know from previous experience it behaves well, I'm going to hand stir it in by first, just to be certain I have no surprises. And since it is behaving well, I'm going to go ahead and stick blend it just to be certain that everything's well mixed and that it brings it to the consistency that I like for a drop swirl. Now it's time to pour. We are ready. Pour in this order the way I have them set out. So we'll start with our orange. Move to our green. And our pink on top of the green. And our yellow. And we start over and repeat until we're finished. I'm intentionally plopping this just down at random. And that's what I have. So what I will do is go ahead and spray this with rubbing alcohol to prevent soda ash, because I love that color palette. Just look at that. And I'll let it sit for 5 minutes, spray it again, and wrap it up and put it to bed in a nice warm spot for the night. So that's what I have this week. That soap over in the corner, I'm going to go ahead and make that, and that's a project I'll see you for early to mid next week. Thanks for watching, and until then, I'll see you in the morning for the cut. All right, everybody, bye. And 12 hours later, we're back to cut our soap, and I have to say, I'm pretty pleased with it. I think I'm going to be happy with it, so let's find out. Okay. Now let's see what the bars look like. And in case you're wondering, the extra soap for the project for next week, I just made some hot process embeds. I just poured these into a round column and then cut them up into triangles, and those are going to be embeds in hot process soap for next week. Yeah. Yeah, those look very much like strawberry or rainbow sherbet colors. Very nice. And the smell is just sensational. If you have not tried that fragrance, I highly recommend it. Not only because of how good it smells, but because of how well it behaves and how well it holds up in your soap. And the other log should look very similar, so I'll cut it off camera to save time, and I'll get us a picture uploaded. But I am pretty satisfied with these. That's what I have this week, and I'll hopefully see you early to mid next week with a hot process tutorial. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week. Bye.